Hello, it's Kenny K here with another review back to the 80s. Why? Because I wanted to do two reviews of the OG movie and the remake. I already did the remake, I have to edit it, but I wanted to wait until I did the original again. It's a re-review, but this time it's going to be a little bit more edited. You're gonna see some scenes, some important pictures. It's the house on Sorority Road. So I did the remake, and the remake is just called Sorority Road. Um, this one gets it's directed by Mark Rosman. Also wrote the movie. Gets a 5.9 out of 10, and I have to say it's one of my. It gets a 6.5 from me. It's one of I that I really visit a lot of times. It's um, it's my top 20 between 10 and 20. It's somewhere there at least. Yeah, I like it, and I'll tell you why in a minute. Just a few of the actors. Kate McNeil is Catherine, uh, short Cat. She's the good girl, the one with the conscience, the one who wants to call the ambulance, and the that doesn't want to cover things up. In the remake, it's Cassidy, um, and then you got Eileen Davidson who plays Vicky. She's the instigator of the prank, and in the remake, it's Jessica. She's the Uber bitch, and here, but and then you have the group of the rest of the sorority sisters who were, you know, participating: Liz, Janie, Diane, Morgan, and Stevie. So the difference is it's not gonna be. Not gonna talk too much about the remake because I did a separate review. Difference are like in this movie they're gonna prank the house mother because she's Mrs. Cringe basically, and in the remake it's a sorority sister, actually not the sorority sister but the ex-boyfriend, and things go wrong. Um, and also to see in the remake it's Carrie Fisher, the legendary Carrie Fisher, and I gotta say she was one of my favorite characters. She goes toe to toe to the killer with a shotgun. Jesus, get away from my girls, she says. Now, Mrs. Slater, uh, I'm gonna spoil this movie, but I'll just talk about the movie and then I'll go in spoiler territory, and you can always choose to stay or not to stay. So she did a um, sort of experimental uh, thing that got her pregnant because she couldn't get pregnant, but a certain Dr. Beck knew an illegal experiment that may get you pregnant, but there are side effects or may not be side effects. Now, the movie starts out in black and white, and Dr. Beck, she is there with a nurse, and Mrs. Slater is having the baby. Now, she says, "What about my baby?" And Dr. Beck says, "It isn't good." And then she starts to cry and yell, and we don't know what happened to the baby. Now, apparently, she did have the baby, but the baby is being held by the doctor for years now, and she knows this that she has a baby, and she basically every time the girls graduate and in the summertime the house closes, she stays there, and she has the attic completely made of toys for her son, Eric, Eric Slater. Now, for the rest of the year, he's in an insane asylum because he is extremely dangerous. The doctor says before Mrs. Slater barges in into his house, the doctor says the patient shows extreme deformity and is extremely dangerous. more medication is required, and then Mrs. Slater wants to take him, and Dr. Beck says, no, it's not good, you better don't do this. No, she's Mrs. Slater is pretty, she's hard, as hard as nails. She wants it. And then he gives her like a necklace with a number on. If something should happen, his personal number. Okay. Now, in the house, in the fraternity house, you've got all those sisters that I just mentioned, and they're all having, except Vicky, um, they're all like having this. They're the most of them they're packing, and the most of them are gone, and they're like these. What's that? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven sisters left, and they're like six of them are doing a drinking game, and they're doing "I like you because," and like that. And what I immediately noticed with that in the remake is that this group is actually not that bad. The remake, they're all sluts, addicts, uber bitches. Here, Catherine, for example, is all the way through the movie she wants to call the police. All the way through the movie she's against it. And in the remake it's a Cassidy, and she's against it, but she does not mention it at some point. Now, at this point, Vicky is out with her boyfriend. Her boyfriend looks like 40 years old. He graduated too. He's 40, and he has a 9 millimeter, and he give it to Vicky so she can do some target practice and shit. And like I said, the party with the six others is meanwhile going on. Mrs. Slater arrives, and she says, "What are you girls still doing here? You should be gone." But they explain that, but there is one problem. We can't go because the graduation party, because there are no funds. We have to have it here. And she says, "Absolutely not. I will not have this. You have to be gone tomorrow morning." And she goes away. Um, One of the girls has this. She was like the comedic relief a little bit. She has this accent, like a Brooklyn accent, and she says she can't do this. It's in the bylaws. You can. It's till the end of the month, and it was like 26th or something. So, of June. So it had to be the end of the month. So they were going through with it. Now, Vicky arrives with her boyfriend, 40-year-old boyfriend. Now, all the guys in this movie are like, when the fraternity party happens, they're all like in their 40s. uh, no, I'm running a little. I'm going too far. Let's rewind a little bit. Um, so they want to have sex, okay? And she has sex on this waterbed. Mrs. Slater hears this. She's like moaning, and she has this walking cane that's so deadly because the end of the walking cane is like a spear tip, and the handle is like an eagle with a claw, like this, So and she smacks the waterbed open and rips it open, and she's completely Vicky and the boyfriend, they were completely underwater, and she says, "I want you out of here tomorrow," and she goes away, and Vicky goes behind her and says, "I gotta get you, you bitch," and then she slides and she slides and falls on the ground. "You bitch, you piece of shit, I'm gonna get you." Next day, they're all sitting together outside. They have a pool, but an cared for pool. It's like algae, green water. I mean, yeah.
Can't you fuck anywhere else?
They're saying, "I want to prank her. Let's give her a good hazing. And Vicky knows the exact prank, and Catherine's like, "Oh, we graduated, aren't we a little bit too old now? Come on, Catherine, one haze." Everybody's like, "One hazing won't hurt." Okay, okay. So what Vicky's plan is, she shows the gun she got borrowed from her boyfriend, and she aims it towards one of her sisters, and the bang, but it's empty, no bullets, of course. She says, "We're gonna fill this with blanks and threaten her and give her the scare of her life." And Catherine's like, "Oh, this is a little extreme now. With a real gun, it's not gonna hurt her. It's not gonna hurt her." Okay, so the next morning, she, the, she, um, Slater wakes up. She doesn't find her cane. She's going downstairs. She sees all the sisters decorating the room of the party. She says, "Why are you not gone yet? What are you doing?" "We're preparing for the party. I told you not to stay here." Now, at this time, her son is upstairs in the attic already. So what happens is the prank goes in motion. So Vicky says, "Oh, Mrs. Slater, where's your cane? You know where it is. Give it back." "Okay, go to the pool." And she goes to the pool. Everybody follows, and the cane is on this rubber tube, that floats, and it's in the middle of the dirty pool. And she says, "Get it out of there." And Vicky draws her gun. "You get it out of there.
If
You
that
get
gun
in
is
there."
real,
She
you are
says,
all in
"You
serious
go
trouble.
in a lot of
We
trouble
thought you...
if you says, shut up. I don't want to hear anything. I took 4 years of your shit." And then she fires at a lantern post, and there's a real bullet in there. The glass shatters, and she's already like, "Oh." And then one of the sorority sisters says, "Oh no, not real bullet. Come on." And then she shoots her. She falls to the ground. Shot in the leg. She's bleeding. And Slayer now knows, okay, she means this shit. So she goes in the water like that. And then Vicky says, "Now you're gone." And then she blasts like 3 blank rounds. And she's like, and not everybody's laughing. The girl with the leg, fake, was all in the prank. Slater gets her cane, hits Vicky on the head, and then Vicky fires one more round. Apparently, a real bullet, a fatal shot through the heart. She falls in the pool. Now, how stupid is this that you have a clip where, okay, I understand the first bullet being real to make things, shooting something, destroying something with a bullet to make it look real. So the fraternity sister who fakes her shot is real. Um, but why in the hell would you put a real one, like 4 blanks, and then somewhere in the middle of the clip a real one? Because this gun at some point in a movie, and that's a little spoiler, is used again to kill the killer, and they're all blanks. So she put she didn't check it because the gun was empty, so she filled it with blanks and then 2 real bullets. Okay, you gotta be a grad student to know this. Also, what they want to do is put Mrs. Slater in a blanket and put her in the water, hope she drowns, but a body floats if you don't put something heavy on. Grad students, again. Now, this is the moment where Catherine goes mental. She wants to call the police immediately, and Vicky, and like 3 other girls say, "No, no, no, don't do that." Vicky's and 2 other girls, I think Diane and Morgan, are saying, "Yeah, yeah, we should do that. Call the ambulance now." And Vicky can sort of persuade them not to do it because they're gonna go to jail, all of them. Although Vicky, Vicky will get the biggest crime because she killed Slater, and the others are accomplices, but will not get too much jail time, I guess, because they thought it was a prank. So Vicky knows she's in the most shit, so she's covering up. She's thinking only about herself. She just doesn't want the police involved. So she wants to get rid of the body. Now at this point, Catherine looks to she sees a window opening and closing in the attic, and she didn't see anything, but it opened and closed. Eric Slater saw this, and it's not a spoiler to say Eric Slater is the killer of the movie because they sort of want you to know that Mrs. Slater's killer because the body disappears at some point, it's gone, and it's like, oh, she's still alive, and then Catherine goes berserk and wants to call the police because she's still alive. We could have saved her, and she's bleeding out somewhere, and Vicky still doesn't want to do that, and she slaps her in the face, and you know, the fraternity and the party is happening, and they notice because two stupid guys are like. They go swimming in the pool, although it's dirty as hell. You got a big fat guy.
I'm a sea
kicking in the
pig.
pool. Then they see this happening. The lights are on in the pool, and they go check it out. And there's no Mrs. Slater anymore. So, but at some point, 10 minutes later, Mrs. Slater appears from the attic. She falls down from the attic. So Mrs. Slater is dead. You notice it's not a spoiler. It's the killer is Eric Slater. Bam. It could be a whodunit maybe, but this is a little spoiler, but it's too obvious. It's just explained for 15, 10 minutes or 10 minutes or so in the movie, I think. Dr. Beck saying this, and he's dangerous, and you catch the drift, right? Um, okay, now I'm going to spoilers. This movie is really great. It has some good acting. The fraternity sisters are, like I said, you have Diane. She starts to drink a lot. She can't really handle the shit. I think Morgan, one of the other girls, she's the blonde girl with the ponytails. She's like, she's also really guilty, and but she doesn't want to go to jail, whatever, of course. And then, of course, Catherine, all the way through the movie, is super nervous, and she wants to call the cops. She wants to call it because then the body disappears, and then and Vicky is trying everything in her power, not that she doesn't do it. Eventually, she doesn't do it because she is persuasive. Now, what happens is you see somebody, um, Mrs. Slater had a robe on, a bat robe, a robe, um, and somebody squeezing the water out, putting it on, and taking the cane to use that as a weapon. Like I said, it's a deadly weapon, a spear point and like a claw, like a claw. I mean, it's a pretty deadly weapon. Um, the first one who gets it is a guy who goes to pee somewhere in the bushes. There, he gets uh, right through the neck. You see it coming out of the neck. You see the blood gurgling out of the mouth. So you got some gore. You really got some gore. Half and half. And I'm gonna already say Vicky gets it the hardest. So she, the one who instigated it, does get you see the most, and she gets the most punishment, in my opinion. Although they all get punished, they all get pretty, but some kills you don't see, or see a piece of it, but not. You have a few gory kills, a few aftermath gory kills, and a few shadow kills. Like I think Stevie has to check out and to go to the pool house, its basement, to pull out the lights of the the pool, and she gets attacked by somebody in a robe, and you see her being attacked. She says no, 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 and then you see the shadow of her and the killer with the cane and stab, 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 and then you see the last stab going through her face, and it's a well done effect. You know, the two shadows you see, and you basically catch the drift of it, right? Now, um, now they're all, panicking because, of course, like I said, Vicky's holding, because it's weird. This is a fraternity party, big, big party with a band. Always nice to have a band in these fraternity, in these 80s movies. It's fun. It's fun. It gives you that 80s vibe. It's those bands that really give you, oh, 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 and they're really giving them all, and it's like failed bands, and they never get. There's another movie. Actually, I wanted to say this is my favorite campus horror movie, but uh, the what's that the name? The Kill Party or what? That's a pretty good one too. Sadly enough, you don't see the gore, but it also has a band in the beginning, and like, yeah, like Rachel, you're no fool. So I like that. I like that. The guy has like the hair that's getting bald. So these are bands that probably wanted to make it, but they never did, and then we get the chance, and but it's always fun to have that. Now, what happens is the entire house, because it's a big ass house, is completely vacated. Kitchen, halls, big, big party, hundreds of people, band and all. But for some reason, the killer is killing outside, around the house, and inside the house. He's inside the house and outside the house. So he's basically going, you know, he's go. That's the first. The next one who gets it is Diane. She finds Mrs. Slater in the attic, and everyone goes berserk again, like Catherine, and she okay, and what the Vicky says we need to get rid of her, put her in a dumpster, and put her. Let's put her in a grave, in the graveyard. It's not that far away, and blah 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 blah. And Catherine really slaps. That's the moment she slaps her, because she says, "You really go too far, and you only think about yourself." And when she runs away, she says, "Coward," like this, and you know. But it's if let's just paint a picture. If they call the police, probably the other are accomplices. But I think because they thought it was a prank, and they have a good lawyer, they may get off with a fine, and Vicky is the one who held the gun and had real bullets in there, so she would go to jail. That's why Vicky is doing everything in her power to not reveal anything. Even if she has to crawl in a dirty grave, she's gonna do it. So Diane is the next one. She finds music box, and with a chord jester coming out. Now there's something with a chord jester that I actually thought is a shame they didn't do that, because that would be a cool killer look. She gets stabbed through the heart, the back, and it comes out through, and that's where she dies. When the chord jester comes out, you know. Now, um, There was actually a big ass. Vicky finds the addict and she finds this card for my baby boy Eric from Mrs. from Slater, his mom, right? She finds this bird completely a live bird that was butchered, so probably out of anger by Eric Slater, and she finds like toys that has a doll, but you take his head off and it has a knife in, so he's pretty fucked up already. And um, she thinks that he's in the house, so she already has that clue, and she knows he probably saw the entire thing happening. So she starts to figure things out, but she finds this enormous court jester doll, but it's not a doll, it's a costume. And the killer, already I'm going a little bit ahead, wears this outfit. And that would be such, because you don't have a lot of killers who wore a court jester outfit. The only court jester killer that I know of is from Slaughter High, that really B or Z grade, but really fun movie, horror movie, slasher movie with Marty Sycamore. He has that Corchester. He has his cool outfit on, a jacket, but he has the Corchester mask. But the stupid thing has bells, so you hear if you hear the killer, you hear him for a mile away, so you know he's coming. Get the fuck away. No, great movie, Slaughter High, but that's the only that I killer that know he has a court jester mask, but in the end, the killer Eric wears the court jester outfit to lure Catherine, the final girl, to the attic and kill her. Now and but the rest of the movie he just wears Mrs. Slater, his mom's robe, and that's it. That's it. You see sometimes his shadow of his face, and you see some hair like this, and the rope, and it looks like Mrs. Slater. It looks like a woman actually. So you still think, is it Eric Slater? But it's him. It's him. It's just too obvious. It's not Mrs. Slater for sure. I don't know who done it. Nobody had an affiliation, and Dr. Beck already said in the beginning that he was dangerous. And a little twist also in the end with Dr. Beck. So the next one who gets it is they wanna one of the girls has this van. They wanna get the van and get boarding the van and get it out. And one of them starts it, and she gets attacked. She gets stabbed in the hand, and like from the rooftop that's open, and stabbed multiple times. You see the killer stabbing, but you don't see the rest. Just a hand puncturing through the hand. Then the other kill is also an off-screen kill. She goes to go and look for it, and another person, I think Morgan was her name. I think the blonde one with the ponytails goes and checks it out. At this moment, you already have Diane's dead, Stevie's dead, and two other girls. So there were four. So four are dead. So you got Catherine, you got Vicky and Liz. Liz is like, she was the one that faked the wound. She's admiring Vicky. She's a follower, right? And you got Morgan, but Morgan gets attacked, but she can evade. She gets wounded, but she can't run away. She runs away, and she comes in, and Catherine sees her, and she said, "What happened? What happened? I got attacked. I got attacked. By who? I don't know who. I couldn't see. I couldn't see. I got attacked." Okay, and this is the weird thing. So Vicky goes to get some first aid supply, and because she's wounded, and then she sees the nod of the door opening, and she knows it's a killer. Now, what I'm just thinking is there's a big ass party going on with hundreds of people. No, why doesn't she run to the party? No, she just stays there, takes a big ass butcher's knife, Halloween style, Michael Myers style. She runs away, um, and she goes to the corridor of the sleeping rooms, in the bedrooms, and the sleeping quarters, and she's all alone there. She goes in a fucking bathroom, a bathroom that's completely, she's fucked. I mean, she can't get the fuck away. There's no windows, there's no nothing. The killer knows that she's in there. He goes in. She's like, and she didn't even, now she didn't even lock the door. She's standing on this on this toilet bowl with the knife like this, and the killer comes in, opens all the doors, then finds Vicky, and she's like, "Oh!" attacking her. But the killer immediately subdues her, takes the knife, puts it on her in her head, starts carving, and gory scene, gory scene, and later on, Catherine finds her head in the toilet bowl, and it was a real head. I think they put a real head in this fake toilet and the blood, and it was a good effect. Like I said, she was. I was so stupid. They're all invading this party, and at so at the meanwhile they can't find anybody. So eventually, Liz and Vicky, they get the van, put Slater in there, go to the cemetery. Now, Catherine's gonna look for them, but they're already gone. But she finds the necklace that Dr. Beck gave. So she basically calls Dr. Beck because she first calls the police and then she hangs up. She knows that she's in a lot of trouble, and Vicky's in her head. Vicky's I'm going to jail. Like it's gnawing on her. Now she calls Dr. Beck, and he says, "Where's Mrs. Slater?" She doesn't explain it right away, but she's not here. Okay, I'm coming over. And he comes over. He says, "Where are the a few of my friends are at the cemetery. Um, okay, gonna call the police department." Okay, he calls the police department. They say, "Meet us at the house in 30. Meet us at the house at Sorority Row." Boom. They go to the cemetery, and then we get to see Liz getting her neck slashed open, gory scene. And then we get the goriest scene of all. So Vicky's like in the mud making a grave. She's all covered in mud. She goes to say, "Well, why are you helping? Why are you helping?" She does open the door, finds Liz's dead, body, and then of course, then the killer. Uh, then you see the silhouette. Like I said, the hair, like it looks like a woman, long hair, with that bathrobe. At first, she gets a stab, then she gets a slash in the back, and then she gets the claw right through her eye. So she gets the worst kill. You see it all. You see it all. It's the goriest, probably goriest moment of the movie. One or two. The Morgan, the girl in the bathroom, stupid girl, the head off. That was also because he's pulling that head. He's like just not like cutting, but just pushing it through her neck. That was pretty gory. Um, and then Dr. Beck, like I said, he arrived. They go to the cemetery. She's coughing up the truth that they killed Slater. They find Slater, but they also find the bodies in the grave, and they know, okay, they're all dead now. Okay, Dr. Beck goes back to the house, police, and then she says, "Where's the police?" there's no police coming. I can't let this thing go out. And he puts a sedative in her. She, so what happens is basically he doesn't want, because he did illegal experiments, right? So if this comes out, he loses his career, maybe jail time, whatever. It's like Vicky. He doesn't want this to get out.
You're the last one
So
of your
what he
friends
wants
alive.
to do is tranquilize Eric and bring him back to the insane
You're
asylum,
the bait.
right? So, but he needs
Must have
something
seen
like
everything from the
a
attic window.
bait, right? He uses Vicky um, as bait. Now he's making this, tranquilizer gun ready, where he put this dart in, and he's waiting. He closed all the doors so he can only come in from the front. So he's waiting. Now there's another boy there, a guy, in the 30s or something. But he was a little bit of a blind date for Vicky, but she didn't have any time for him, of course. But he's like drunk because he's kind of turned down because he liked Vicky, but he was still there. He's roaming around. He gets in the room, and Dr. Beck shoots him in the neck. Oh shit, wrong person. Vicky's like, oh, what did you do? She thinks he killed him, and she's still kind of groggy, but she's not tied up or something. She's getting up. She's opening the door that was locked, getting upstairs, and he says, come back," and he says, I didn't kill him. I just tranquilized him. I don't want to kill somebody. Just want to capture him. I just want to bring back Eric. And then, of course, one door opens. Eric's there, gives him a slash with a stick, and his glasses also fall off. I mean, I think he didn't slash him, but his glasses fall. He's like, but he got wounded, and he's like, going to the uh, end of the stairs, the balcony, and then Eric puts the claw right through his chin and comes out through his mouth. That was a pretty gory kill, and throws him over the balcony. So then we get, okay, we get to see Vicky. She gets the gun from, Catherine. She gets the gun from Vicky. She finds it. She goes to check it out. And then we see Eric standing over Dr. Beck's body. And then looks up, and she wants to shoot, but doesn't shoot. But I think the safety was on. She goes away. She runs away. And here's a weird thing. And I'm gonna put a picture. It's the only moment you see Eric's real face. Really weird face. Hair, like I said, like here, completely bald here, but it looked like he had gray skin. Also, a little bit of deformity. He had like black eyes, but it looked like he didn't have eyes, only holes. So it was a really weird. Like he looked like, you know, the gray aliens. You know, the typical aliens with the big heads. He had that kind of face. I'm gonna put a picture so you can see how he looks. I'm gonna try to find the picture and then you can see it, because I'm actually curious too, because I never really found a picture to really study it. She runs. She goes to the attic. She sort of lays a trap for him with the wind-up box with the cord jester coming up. Puts it on the edge of the stairwell to the attic, and she's standing there with the gun, waiting. Then we see the doll, the Corgister doll, and then we see eyes opening, and he's in the Corgister doll, and that was cool. But the thing is, he does have eyes, but like I say, he looks like he has no eyes. I'm gonna show you the picture. It's weird, but here you can clearly see he has eyes. He opens his eyes. He tries to hit her. That was actually a really creepy moment. She's standing there, and the doll's there, but the doll is now Eric. He's in the suit, and he starts to attack her. and she's shooting at him, but all blanks this time. So blanks, two real bullets, and all the rest is blank. Then she finds that doll. She knows it's a knife doll, and she starts to stab him like crazy in the face, mostly in the face and in the neck area, and because it's only like a blade like this big, and he eventually falls down the stairs and dies. Now Vicky still not really completely over the drug, lays down, rests her. She rests and closes her eyes, and Eric opens his eyes again, and the movie ends. He's not dead yet. So, what about the movie? It's a fun movie. It has some creepy moments. It has a cool killer. If he wore that Corchester outfit, it would have been much cooler. But there's something, if you see him and you know how he looks, if you saw the movie and then again and you know how he looks, it makes it desto more creepier because he looks fucked up. And I really like that. I really, really, really like that. So, your good gory kills, not all, but gory, practical effects, a few interesting kills because with the shadows, and you can sort of make it out in your mind. It's clear what's happening. Um, the Dr. Beck stuff at the end I like because he just want they all want to cover it up. Vicky wants to cover it up because she doesn't want to go to jail, and Dr. Beck wants to cover it up because he doesn't want to go to jail because it's an illegal. Everything is illegal there. Catherine is basically the only clear conscience of the entire movie. So um, it's like I said, I really like the movie. It's a fun movie, and I recommend it. It has some tension, some gore. The acting's well done. You kind of feel there's a bond between these sisters. That's also why Catherine doesn't want to go to the police. It's just Vicky's the bitch, but she doesn't want the rest in trouble. So they're so kind of linked together. But and like I said, when you see the killer, Eric, he looks freaky if you see his real face for that tiny moment. And the court jester outfit was creepy when he opens his eyes and he's in there all the time. Now it's weird that he goes from there to there, so it's yeah. um, but still, the only thing that I sort of disliked was Mrs. Slater's acting. I think she's a very lovely lady in real life. I think she's very um, nice, and when she tried to be angry, it looked like so acted. It didn't look raw. It didn't look real. You didn't believe it, and she was talking in this very "You shall all be out of here tomorrow morning," and I didn't buy it. I didn't buy it. I didn't buy her angriness and her cringiness. She was cringy, yeah, but you know what I mean? Because in the end of the day, she was still concerned about the girls because she knew Eric could be dangerous. But there's a scene where she just, because it was the last year of Slater, and she burns all the pictures, the group photos, where she's in the middle and all girls are there, the sister sorority, and she burns them all. And the last one with Vicky, she puts the like I said, the cane right through Vicky's face on the picture. So, right? Um, but that's the only. But the good thing is she's not too long in the movie, and it's just a plot point, to get the killer go berserk, right? like I said, Eric is a cool killer, and he would have been in my top 20 if he worn the court jester outfit and had more weapons like the doll and with making knife and shit like that. He probably had more fucked up things in there. So great movie, great acting, good practical effects. There are some stupid decisions that I don't understand why they just don't go to the party where people are, but okay, and stay in the, you know, the, basically deserted house, and then get killed, could, find themselves like getting them in a dead end, and it's. But for the rest, it's a really good movie. I recommend it. 6.5 out of 10, my personal score, and if not, it's worth a watch. Really worth a watch. And the remake, by the way, too. But I will put that review up. It's actually a pretty good remake, and I gave it a 5.5. So it's something that I may watch again. It was actually it's usually remakes are few are good. You have a few good ones. Most of them are ugh. Uh, and I hope a few movies that they really don't gonna make a remake. I heard something about Jaws. I really hope they don't do that, but okay. So this is it. House on Sorority Road. Check it out, and see you later. Subscribe for fun. And Kenny is signing out. Bye bye.